Today I just wanted to go over some pregnancy advice, things that you could do when you find out you're pregnant or throughout your pregnancy. Number one, prioritize your prenatal care. This is so important. Regular checkups, whether it's with the doctor or a midwife or whoever you're seeing for your pregnancy. Scheduling regular visits can help you keep track of your health, baby's health. It's just overall so important. Start taking prenatal vitamins if you haven't already. I know my doctor had recommended we take it before trying to have a baby, but some of us don't expect to be having a baby until we see that positive test. So start taking your prenatal vitamins, get everything that you and your baby could possibly need. Number two, one that I definitely struggle with every time I'm pregnant, eating a well-balanced diet. This looks a little bit different for everybody, especially lots of women in the first trimester. You can't eat almost anything because you feel like you're just gonna throw it back up. So at that point, it's kind of just a matter of eat what you can, eat what your body will allow. Don't be too hard on yourself. You want to still try and have that good balance, but ultimately just getting something in your system is so important for you and for the baby. There are some foods that obviously you want to kind of avoid. So any kind of raw fish, I guess unpasteurized milk products. Honestly, if you Google what you can and can't eat during pregnancy, you basically can't eat anything nowadays, is what I found. To me, just like use your discretion. Number three, another important one that you've probably heard a lot already, is stay active when and if you can. Don't sit down for too long. Try not to be standing for too long in one spot. It can cause some issues. Being active in the pregnancies for me has been a little bit difficult because I deal with very severe pelvic pain. If you are continuing to be active throughout the first trimester, second trimester, it's going to be so much easier to stay active during the third trimester. Don't start a workout routine when you find out you're pregnant. Don't worry about the weight gain. It happens. Like, your doctor will bring it up if there's a concern with it. Just keep yourself healthy. That being said, with being active, start looking up and doing some pelvic floor exercises to get your pelvic floor, your pelvic area, bones, starting to prepare themselves for the changes that your body's going to go through. I didn't know this was a thing. So with my son, around the 20-week mark, I had started getting my pelvic pain, and it's just been worse in each pregnancy. I'm on my third pregnancy right now, and it started way earlier, but there is just about nothing that I can physically do at this point that's going to help it. There are some exercises and stretches that I can do to try and help alleviate the pain, but if I would have been more consistent from the first pregnancy onwards, I don't think it would be as bad as it is now. That being said, I don't know. Number four, you're probably gonna hear this a lot, get enough rest. I do not necessarily mean to get enough sleep, because I know, especially the first trimester, I don't know why, but you always have to pee. That's just a fact of life. And I'm not sure, like, some women have nausea like throughout the day and into the evening, so it can be kind of hard to rest that way or sleep that way, I guess. Second trimester is like the golden one. Most women find the second trimester the easiest. And then the third trimester, at that point, baby's sitting on the bladder. Bladder's a punching bag, so you're gonna have to get up to pee more often. Sometimes you can't even get comfortable in bed. You're tossing and turning, things hurt. So sleep itself isn't always able to happen. So what I'm talking about is rest when you need it. If you are out and doing stuff, take the next day to just recuperate, or take a couple hours afterwards, or get somebody, like if you already have kids, get somebody to watch the kids so you can just have a little bit of time to yourself. Whatever resting looks like to you, just try to make that a little bit of a priority now, because I mean, sleep evades you once baby's here, but also rest of any kind can pretty much evade you as well. Know and pay attention to the changes that are happening in your body. Not everybody goes through the same things in pregnancy, and that's totally fine. Everyone's unique. Every pregnancy is unique. But pay attention to what is happening and kind of adjust things from there. So if you're dealing with morning sickness, there are a few things you can try and do. There's like ginger teas, trying to snack on crackers to help with the nausea, eating smaller meals, smaller portions, just more throughout the day. Something that I found, I didn't deal with severe morning sickness, but I had nausea for quite a while. Mint gum really helped me out with that one. Something else that you can expect in pregnancy is swelling, whether it's feet, ankles, hands. Those are probably the most common places. Make sure that you're wearing comfortable shoes. You may want to look into buying shoes that are like half a size up, just easy to slip them on and off in the summer. I mean, you can wear sandals, but you still want to try something with support. Something else that will probably happen to you is getting stretch marks. It's not always avoidable. There are some women that swear by like the belly creams, bio oil, stretch mark oil, stuff like that. I had tried that with my son, but something that people don't always realize is that stretch marks are hereditary. So odds are if your mom or your parents had them, like you're more prone to get them. They do fade over time, and you can do stuff to try and help the appearance of them, but don't stress out about them. Like, don't think that you're doing something wrong just because they're there. If you don't get them, or if you haven't gotten them, that's fantastic. Good for you. Number 7 is preparing for the unexpected. So especially if it's your first child, consider taking a childbirthing class. So what me and my husband actually ended up doing, we didn't go to a physical class. We actually just looked up, I think one of our hospitals has some online resources. We were also coming off the back end of COVID, and so we would just like watch these videos at home, and it kind of went over what to expect your water breaks, what to expect if you have contractions that start your labor, stuff like that. But I do think it is a really good idea to have some kind of knowledge of what you will be getting into come that time, and don't expect for it to go a certain way. Another thing that you might want to start thinking about is a birth plan. Start thinking about your ideal situation for that, what would make you the most comfortable, how you kind of would ideally like things to go, but be prepared for that to fly out the window. I am not somebody who needed to have a strict plan. I didn't need to have music. I didn't need to have like this, that, and whatever. I wasn't very picky. My birth plan is pretty much, honestly, give me the epidural. That's kind of like, that's my birth plan, epidural, but then make sure that me and baby are healthy. Do whatever you need to do to get this baby out healthy, keep me healthy. That is my plan. Some people just have a very specific idea of what they want it to look like. But sometimes the downfall to having a specific idea like that is you get really disappointed or let down, either with yourself, with the hospital, doctors, if your plan doesn't go exactly the way that you want it. And then it's not a day that you can look back on and be like, wow, yeah, like I did that. It's like you'll look back on that day and everything's just negative, negative, negative. And we don't want that. Another really important one, listen to your body, okay? So again, rest when you need it. I decided to take off work quite a bit earlier than I had expected this time around, because I'm like, I do not think my body can handle it. I am in so much pain. I probably could push through, but also mentally, I was having such a hard time, and I would come home and I could barely spend time with my kids. Like, I'd have to go lay down in bed because my body hurt so bad, and mentally, it was absolutely tearing me apart. So listen to your body, listen to your brain. If you're having any kind of weird, unusual symptoms, heavy bleeding, intense swelling, severe cramping, anything like that, contact your doctor or midwife or whoever. Talk to somebody right away. It's not always going to be something bad, but it's better safe than sorry. If you are concerned, bring it up. Like, don't just play it off as a, oh yeah, it's probably nothing. I even think this way with my young kids. So with my kids, like being so young, they're 2 and 3. I know when they were newborn, quite often I'd be like, I need to bring them in to see a doctor. I don't think this sounds right. I don't like how this is. And my husband would be like, it's probably fine. Like, there's no need to, no, like, shut up. I don't feel right about this, so I'm doing something about it. Mother's intuition can start really, really early. So if you genuinely just don't feel like something's right, contact somebody. They're never ever, well, they shouldn't ever tear you down or anything like that about being concerned for yours and your baby's well-being. Number 9, if you find something like this helpful, think about connecting with other parents. There are lots of, I think, online support groups. You could probably find so many support groups on Facebook, probably TikTok. There's probably YouTubers that have support groups, stuff like that. And there's probably some kind of in-person support group around your area, or you could make one. And just getting together with other like moms, expecting moms. I use the What to Expect app for my pregnancies, and they have a really, really good community portion where you can ask questions, and then there's lots of people that can have discussions about it. So that's something that I have also found to be very beneficial. Number 10 is trying to stay positive, trying to stay patient. It can feel like such a long journey. I know the first trimester can feel super long. Usually the second one goes pretty quickly, but then the third one can feel so long as well. And then as you get closer to the due date, it's just a waiting game at that point, and it's really, really hard to feel like you have no control. Be patient with yourself. Your body is going through so much. Your body is changing dramatically to support you and this baby. It can be really hard to adjust to some of those changes, so just try to give yourself grace. Don't be too hard on yourself if things go a little bit differently than you think or than you would like. Remember to be kind to yourself. Number 11 is tracking your symptoms. Something that I really like, keeping a baby journal. I've kept one, or at least a little bit, throughout all of my pregnancies, and then each pregnancy I can kind of look back and be like, oh yeah, I did go through that, or oh yeah, that did happen. Okay, so this isn't too far off from what I experienced in the past. And then that being said, if there is anything unusual, then you could always bring your journal with you to a doctor's appointment and say, hey, yeah, on this day, this happened. Because in that first little bit of pregnancy, you don't see your doctor as often. Whereas in the last little bit, you see them almost every week. Number 12, another really important one. I kind of talked about taking care of your physical health a little bit, but you also want to take care of your mental health. Mood swings are very common, totally normal. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And don't be afraid to talk to somebody that's even outside of the household. Like, I know my husband can get on my nerves so much. So sometimes it's like, I just need to talk to somebody else. I will go talk to my sister because I know that if I need her to, she will help give me advice. We think very similarly. But I also know if I need her to, she will just sit and she will listen to me just rant. And sometimes that's all that's needed. Number 13. Start planning for your maternity leave. Check your workplace's maternity leave policy. Know the benefits that you're entitled to depending on where you're from. You can only really do it so early. Like, so some women think that they're going to work all the way up until their due date. Some women do work all the way up until their due date. Some women don't, or you can't, depending on the kind of job that you have. So you also want to talk to your doctor about that and see kind of what they would recommend in that way. But just make yourself aware of the options that are available to you. Number 14, pretty self-explanatory, is preparing the home for your baby, getting a nursery ready, figuring out if you want baby to sleep in a bassinet for the first couple months or just straight to the crib. If you are further along in your pregnancy, it is a good idea to start looking at stocking up on things like diapers, wipes, toiletries, stuff like that. That'll give you less to do after baby's here. And start thinking about maybe planning some freezer meals that you can just chuck in the freezer. And then when baby's here, you can just pull them out, defrost them, throw them in the oven, whatever you need to do. Not a bad idea. Number 15, if it is the way that you choose to go, definitely start looking into what it means to breastfeed your child. Even if you're planning on bottle feeding, pumping, whatever you're planning to do, it is helpful to read up on like breastfeeding, having a good understanding of all of your options, looking into what your city or town offers for lactation consultants in case you are having trouble. 16, this one kind of goes along the lines of some of the other ones, but plan for labor and delivery. So just, again, if you're not taking the birth classes, at least know the signs and symptoms of labor and delivery or labor approaching. Educate yourself on what to look for if you think that your water breaks. As you also get closer to the due date, it is very helpful. Start having your hospital bag packed. You don't necessarily need everything in there, but I like to have most of my stuff packed up, or at least in an area that it's ready to go. And then I'll usually have a list of like last minute items I need to pack so I can throw it in a bag or in the bag and then get out the door. 17, take care of your skin. avoiding harsh chemicals, sticking to gentle skin cleansers, pregnancy safe skincare products, especially when it comes to acne treatments or hair dye or something like that, because I know a pregnancy symptom can be acne. You can have breakouts, so just be cautious of what you're using. Hydrating your skin, lotion is great. Skin can get really dry during pregnancy, and I don't know why, but it just can. And sunscreen is another really good thing. I mean, it's good in general. I don't wear sunscreen, so it's probably not great, but I also don't go outside very much. Educate yourself on postpartum care. Knowing what happens after birth is pretty much just as important as what's happening during your pregnancy. This includes postpartum recovery, including like bleeding, breastfeeding, emotional health. I know we've talked about those things a few times throughout this video, but it is so important. Talk to your doctor about certain signs and symptoms that you should be aware of when you are postpartum that may indicate you need to go back in to get checked out. Listen to your body. Again, that is so crucial. If you think that something is a little bit weird, a little bit off, if you're concerned about something, just go get checked out. You are better safe than sorry. I would rather take the drive to the hospital just to be sent home saying it's pretty much nothing, than having an issue at home and not getting help in time. Another one, Googling symptoms, Googling issues. Google can be a blessing and a curse. Google can be super helpful, give you information that you need, but it can also be a really scary rabbit hole to go down. So just really be mindful if you're looking up things on the internet about symptoms, signs. That's when I stress it's important to listen to yourself and your mind and don't just take what others say as gospel. Even if it seems small, I would still say the best help is the professional help. Take it a day at a time. Pregnancy can feel really overwhelming. It can be exhausting. Everybody's giving you advice on what to do, how to do it before baby arrives and after baby's here. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own thoughts and the way that they would do things. Just try and take it with a grain of salt. Try not to be too easily offended, or if they've overstepped, tell them off. I don't care. But I just really wanted to get this video out to give at least a starting point for some people, give some kind of encouragement, some kind of advice. If this could help you in any way, that's fantastic. But if you're still here, thank you for watching. I wish you guys all the best if you are going through this journey, and I hope that we will see you guys next time.